Now you've got sweet jazz music. I don't have any name for it. Just a number that I just thought I'd play a while here, just to give a person a good idea. That's also one of my riffs, what you call riffs in jazz, you know, and the slow tunes. I've seen this blundered up so many times, it has given me heart failure.
Put your hand up and we might give you a break.
No, I haven't got a drum.
That's inside the house, that one. Things existed, and I still didn't think about starting my own store. It wasn't even in my mind. But one day my father said, "Why don't you open your own health food store?" Since there's nothing here. I said, "Oh, but you know, Dad, we haven't got any money. How are we going to do that? How can we buy equipment and rent someplace and everything?" So Murray was there, my husband, and he and my dad were talking, and they said, "Well, you know, you could do it right in your own house." Because the house was an old house, and it had 2 living rooms, is what we called them, divided by glass doors, and it lent itself very well to becoming a health food store. So between my dad, who was a designer and an artist, and my husband, who's a great builder and fixer-upper, and they worked on it and got it all set up and ready to go for October 1976.
Wow. Thank you.
Well, my vision was just from my own experience with my husband and my child, and well, our whole family actually, after eating differently, started to express or display better health, and especially the boy with asthma. And so I was really excited about that and wanted to share what I had learned and help people. And the other exciting thing that happened to me, that just a month before the store opened, was I received Jesus Christ into my life and was totally changed again. So I had the passion for the physical and the spiritual as well. And my journey with Jesus and my journey with Joanne's Place happened almost simultaneously. Oh, well, there were a lot. I guess the biggest challenge was probably to get people to know who we were and what we were about. We didn't have a lot of money, as I said, for big advertising, so there was the paper you used to deliver was what, the Lindsay Post, and it was daily, wasn't it? And they had, on the front page, they had their advertisements were on the front page, and we always put a little ad in there with something special every week, but that wasn't really enough. So I started going out talking, giving speeches, not my forte, but I did it. And to schools, I went to Sarah's school last year, and different places, like my friend that was my first customer, she helped me and told people about me, the church groups, sports, it's like Diane, that kind of people, they wanted somebody to come and talk, so that's what I did, and it was slow though, really a slow start. But never dreamed it would get this big. Well, for myself, I guess it was just the fact that the family really supported, you know, everybody helped. Margo started at 11 years old to help me weekends and summer holidays and so on. And the boys, they never really worked, well, Troy did a little bit, but they helped. We moved that store 4 times, so the guys really helped with moving and that sort of thing. And Murray was always, he had his own entrepreneurish things going on, but he was pretty much always available to to pick up all the orders in Toronto and or wherever they were, and because we couldn't afford deliveries back then, it was too expensive. You had to pay extra. Just the family and the customers. I guess the customers, getting to know the customers, weren't very many of them, so they became like friends. We got to know their names, we got to know their children, and you know, it was. That part of it was really nice. not possible so much now in the bigger stores. But,
Well, you'd be surprised.
well, you still can.
Mhm.
Yeah, you get to know them because they come out regularly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that part I really enjoyed.
Mhm.
Seeing the babies grow up.
Yeah.
And then seeing those babies come in with their children. I was there long enough to see that happen.
That's beautiful. Memory.
I do. I was 9 when I first started.
Oh,
Just-
you were younger.
Well, that I can remember.
But you sat
That I
on the
can-
stool
yes.
and put the stuff
I
in the
can,
bag.
yes, I can remember being around 9 when I started just
Oh,
working
yeah.
alongside you,
Yeah.
just sitting on the stools. But it's neat to think about that time and remember so much of what the early lessons were from her about how to properly give back change, how to fill peanut butters without letting it touch the top. Back then, we used to hand write on all of our packaged bags.
Oh my.
And because once my printing got nice, I got to help with that. So it was just neat to be there, to see my grandma's relationships with the customers and just how that has been able to survive through all that we've done. So pretty cool.
I think Mom and I always had a close relationship, so it was great to be able to, to help out wherever I could and learn everything I possibly learn. One of those people that I learn very well by when people talk to me, so all I had to do was listen to my mom talk, and it would just seem like it would just, osmosisly transfer into me, which is great. I always had a good memory, so that helped me a lot. And I think that, growing up, I was 11 when this started, so it's not like I have a lot of memories before. Like, you don't remember a lot when you're really little, but it's a lot of memories. We had a store, we always had a store, right? So it's just part of all my growing up memories, was having that. And always, just try to be available to help whenever I could. And some people say, well, was it a burden? Not that it was necessarily a burden. It was because I became passionate as well about what we were doing, because you could see people's lives were being changed. And I think the relationships that we had, with customers, and how they were so appreciative, and how it was again about being part of their story, and that they entered into our story by coming to our store and shopping and being loyal customers, but then you get to affect their story as well by continuing to share the messages that we'd learned from, again, in a network of knowing people and on their journey, and what worked for them and what didn't work for them, and how people's lives were, being affected just by what they put into their mouths, into their bodies. So, yeah.
A moment. Well, because I started working so young, I kind of worked through the summers and whatnot when I was a preteen, and then when I was a teenager, I'd go to work after school and on weekends, and then when I went away to university, I'd come home and work in the summer. So I think lots of those jobs were working in the back and not necessarily always interacting with customers. So probably about 10 years ago, when I came back to work more of a full-time basis, once we moved back to this area, is when I've become more heavily involved. So I think just for myself, I've been able to work in all aspects of the organization. I was able to work on the floor and in the back, and now I personally work in purchasing. And even just recently, we've started an executive team, which I'm honored to be a part of. So it's neat to be at a level of the organization where you can advocate for change and advocate for things moving forward. And I think just now is when I feel just the sense of accomplishment that I'm able just to be a part of that, a part of the legacy through family, but also with driving the business forward now.
Yeah.
So that's really exciting for me personally to have that sense of accomplishment, being a part of that team of people that is just driving the business forward, or continuing to drive it forward. So that's really exciting.
Parents.
I do remember one short story of on the street in Whit Lindsay, of a little boy, a baby, that I got the mother put him on goat milk instead of formula, because he was having all these aches and pains and trouble screaming and crying. And, she said, look at him now. And they just hug you and thank you and think it's so wonderful, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are rewards. Those are nice rewards, just to feel that you've done something that changed somebody's life. For better.
In the past, wellness was something that people thought that one day that they would achieve. That maybe it was a goal that they had or some sort of desire, but I feel like that there's, in myself, I feel that wellness is really your whole life. That people can look back and say, oh, I was well then, I was sick then, or they can identify these times in their lives, but if you really think about wellness, it is your entire lifetime. That if you look deep inside of yourself, that there are going to be times when perhaps you felt more well than others, and that is in that moment. But if we look at it as something that is actually, again, who we are, so that would mean our body, our soul, our spirit, our mind. And if we look at it in a bigger package, then we can see different markers in our life. And I feel like, for me, it's sometimes looking in the past and seeing some things that perhaps were hurtful, and I could think I was unwell. It actually can affect my today and spur me on to know that those times when I felt like I wasn't well or was emotionally not in a good place, this inspires me to move forward, to be in a better place, to look again, to be more at peace, to feel rest in my soul. And we can look back and say those were bad times or times when we felt not as well. But again, if we use it as fuel to encourage ourselves to keep continuing to move forward, then our wellness journey can always be moving forward. And for me, personally, I've had many ups and downs as far as my actual health goes, but in my wellness journey, which I feel is a body, soul, mind, and spirit, is that I'm always want to be taking a step forward. There are times when I feel like take a step backwards, but again, not to get discouraged in myself, and encourage myself. Because when I am well and I am at my best, then that's when I am the greatest effect for other people. And my heart's desire and who I am is to always be touching other people's lives. But I know that the importance of me being well in all those areas. Am I always feel that way? No. I'd be lying to say that I always did, because I'm going to have my down times. But to use it as, again, to inspire myself to move ahead forward, to learn something I need to learn, to listen to somebody, to hear their story, it encourages me to move forward and go into the arena of life and show up and be there and want to be a part of what other people's lives. And the effect you can have just by listening.
One thing I wish everyone knew is that it doesn't have to be complicated. You actually could go probably right back to the basics of what this whole industry was built on, with the idea of being intentional and mindful about the choices you make. So whether that goes back to drinking water every day, getting enough rest, exercising, and that the way that you eat is a whole food based diet where you take the whole grain or whole milk or just the whole product and turn it into what you make from scratch. I think that today with convenience foods and the way to make things simpler actually makes things complicated, because what they have to do to those foods is alter it to make it more convenient. So I think sometimes people get caught up in, do I have enough time to cook and all of those things, but when you take it back to basics, it's actually less complicated. And using a whole chicken as opposed to the pieces, or just lots of things that you can do for your family and to make it less complicated, but that overall will increase your wellness. So that's what I wish people knew.
What makes Joanne's Place special is many things, but first off, I'd like to say that it's the fact that we started out as a biological family, and we started this business, but as we grew and we had more and more employees come on with us, that they became our family as well. That it was a team of many different types of personalities and people who had different giftings, who came in and caught our passion for taking care of people and providing a place where the community could come and they could feel like they belong. So it makes us special because we focus on the relationships that we have with each and every customer. We value each and every customer, and it is about serving them and giving to them so that we enter into their journey, on their own journey of wellness. They come to us, but we break in to their journey by listening, by providing support, by encouraging them, and hopefully having the products that they're looking for. And even if they don't go away with having purchased a lot of products, they go away knowing that they mattered, that they have a voice, and that people actually care about them and what is going on with their health. And that what also makes it special is the people we have working with us, they feel that passion to want to actually inspire people to continue as well. And the way that we're going to continue that legacy on is to continue to inspire our passion with our employees, have them engaged and know that they are a part of what we're doing. It isn't something where there's just some people in an office somewhere that tell them this is what we're going to do, but that by giving them opportunities for themselves to grow and to be who they are and know who they are, and that they themselves want to inspire people to continue on as well.
Well, Sarah mentioned one of them. I was going to suggest that drinking water is a simple, inexpensive thing to do. I mean, not to go crazy over it, but just every day to have a sufficient amount of water, and it should be good water, preferably not chlorinated or anything. And another one would be to grow a garden. I think we always had a garden, even before we were in the health food business, because organic food is expensive and hard. Something back when we were young, we couldn't buy it in the stores. They didn't have it. And so we always had vegetables and fruit as much as possible, with as much as space. But even as an apartment, you can have it on a few herbs or something on a pot on the balcony, and just to have that something fresh and real green. And yeah, I think that's something anybody can do, and children love it. They don't love pulling weeds, but they love seeing things grow and eating them out of the garden.
Eating tomatoes out of the garden. Great memory. What does it mean to me? It's inspiring to be part of this business. It's amazing for me to, think 40 years ago, my grandmother wanted something better for her family, something better for her son, something better for her husband, and knew that it was out there and had the desire and the determination to go after that. And because of that, the rest of her family, my dad, my aunts and uncles thrived from that, and that it's become what it is today with 3 locations. So to be a part of that growing up was always inspiring for me. I grew up with lots of mothers and the employees watching me grow up, and lots of opportunities to learn and to grow personally. And then over this past decade, to be a part of it in such in a bigger way it's just amazing to have a company like Margo talked about that is so passionate about people, all people within our community, suppliers, customers, staff. The atmosphere feels like family. It's a great place to work. People come in and have a sense of belonging. They know there's something different, and I know you don't get that everywhere. That is special. And it is exciting to be a part of that. I originally went to school to be a teacher, and so when I came here and had children, I was blessed to have a family that would allow me to work, to have flexibility, and my passion for it grew even more to the point where I wanted this to be my career. And it's exciting to see the growth that's happening, and I know that it will continue to grow and it will continue to thrive, and that people's lives will be changed because of Joanne's Place, and that is very exciting to be a part of. And I hope someday my daughters will, they already talk about wanting to work here. So I think it's exciting for the biological family to be a part of it, but also the fact that there is the Joanne's Place family. and that lots of employees' children work for us now, and it's just exciting to be able to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Well, you're one of those.
I am.
Yes.
Yeah, and you guys let me come back again.
Yeah. Another legacy family.
Yeah.
I love being here back.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of those. And that's what I like about it, is it's that you recognize the value in the person and understand the journey and how sometimes they need to go somewhere else and come back stronger or with a different perspective. I don't think I'd be doing what I am right now if I hadn't had space to figure myself out a little bit
Absolutely.
and see
Yeah,
what
you didn't do
other
that, remember?
opportunities were in
That's right.
Peterborough.
Yeah, you did that, Margo. She went down to work at the, you said,
Couple months.
you thought you needed to have something else on your resume except work at my mother's store.
Well, I think that speaks a lot to the culture of Joanne's Place, that a lot of people leave, work somewhere else and want to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Because you realize it's such a unique atmosphere, and again, how, you know, everyone's treated, customers and staff alike, that it's a pretty great place to work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's been a great journey,
Mm-hmm.
that's all. A wonderful journey, you know. I'm not part of it now, but I can see it continuing and growing on with my children and staff, you know, all the different staff people and grandchildren and even great-grandchildren now when I work there.
I think the importance of, again, continuing on is to continue always that you're passing on what we've learned to the next generation. For something to continue on, as we say in our value statement, that we are, wellness is for now and future generations, is to make sure that we pass on that information, that it's our responsibility then, like, to share with others what we know, and not in a way that's condemning, but in a way that invites them to come in and also collaborate, also say what has worked for them, what has been something for them that's been, because that's how we all learn. And my mom always taught me, and I've taught my own children, that we never want to think that we've arrived anywhere, that we're always moving forward, and we're teachable, and when we're teachable, then we can always learn something new from somebody young and somebody old, that we all have so much to give, and that moving forward, then we know then for future generations, we won't have lost things that we've learned. It'll only be a progression and to move us forward into the future.
And there was something else that we, as a family and as a group of people, we've always tried, and I know Margo has moved on with this with the staff, that we'd like the customers to come into the store and feel better just by being there, even if they just look around, even if they don't buy anything, that they would come in there and the atmosphere would be such, and the care that they receive as from the staff, or if they want it or don't want it, whatever. But just that they would be there and they would feel better.
Absolutely.
And it definitely happens.
Yeah.
Mhm.